What's up, everybody? It's Silas Sage here. Today I'm going to be starting a new series of videos where I actually contact and have interviews with people who run CBD farms, CBD companies, etc., etc. This is my first video today that I'm going to be releasing for it, and I'm in contact with a few other CBD companies, seeing if they're interested in doing something like this. So today's video is going to be with Dustin from Monroe Hemp Company, monroefarms.com. At the end of the video, Dustin also shouted out his business partner that he forgot to in the video, Michael, that handles the accounting stuff with this company. So that being said, I'm going to try and keep these interviews as raw as possible and just, I don't want to cut out much, but it's my first time using Google Hangouts to do this. This is my first time doing this, so a few times the thing lagged in the video, so I just edited those small parts out and gave you what you're gonna watch. All right, let's get to the video. The place that is that your farm, or you work on the farm, or?
So I own the farm.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
okay. So and it's called Monroe Farms, right?
it is. Yeah. So a buddy of mine, he and I, we just went ahead and, made up a name. We were sitting around one night, and that's what we came up with, and um, it stuck. Felt good. So
I mean, it sounds
it has
cool.
no specific meaning in any way.
Right. I mean, yeah, it
About
sounds
anything.
like a nice place.
Yeah, yeah. But the farm is located at our family's property. So we were down in San Diego for a while, and when I got into CBD, we were trying the tinctures from a couple different websites, and just testing it out because a couple of family elements and things like that. So we're like, same as you, let's try it out, see what all the hype is.
Right, right.
And so we tried that, and that went pretty good. But growing up in Oregon, you're constantly around cannabis, right? And so I'm like, just like you, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot, give it a try. So I ordered some as well, and I just wasn't impressed
Right.
personally. It tasted like fertilizer, and knowing, when you've been around it, not that I was, my family wasn't doing it all that much, but everybody's parents either was holding or growing
Right,
in some
right.
way around here, So you kind of know what that should be, and to me, it was way off. So my wife decided to go back to school up here in Oregon, and it's close enough to the family property. And I just went ahead. It was all in hay, and it's only 4 acres. And so we went in, tilled it all up, and started planting. And just we did a lot, like a lot of research, obviously, but a lot of our friends were already doing it. They've been in it for a couple of years,
Right, right.
and but much bigger acreage, and doing it a little different. But I figured if we're going to do this, we got to do it and make that flower tasty again, because it can be. Just to me, I'm just not feeling it.
Right, right.
So, but I know the effects and the total, having THC in there a little bit, all the other cannabinoids working together rather than just an isolate. At least through my research, is you're going to gain a lot of benefits.
Right.
So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, I like that because there's sometimes, or not sometimes, but most of the time, the CBD flowers just taste like almost like hay, or like it'll be like dry,
Yeah.
and just like so that's nice that you wanted to get in here to change that, because like I
Yeah.
feel like no one's
Yeah.
really working on that.
No, and I think most people who are offering flower, other companies, it really is a biomass product that hasn't been properly flushed, and definitely has not been properly cured, or burped to bring out
Right,
what
right.
that plant has. And that's fine, all to their own. But for people who have tried some that's like, oh, now that tastes like marijuana, right, or tastes like hemp could be and should be, you'll see the difference very soon. I think there will be a cleansing in the market in some way, and either people start doing it right, because now, with the federal bill coming through here shortly, um, you're going to see a big difference in just in quality. I think a lot more people are going to be getting into it. I think those standards will keep going up.
Right.
So
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I just read about that bill too last night. That's
mhm.
they're redoing it, right? Because they already had one.
Yeah, the 2014, it's expired, but we're still kind of operating on it. Again, it's all kind of gray area at this point.
Right, right, right.
But we all, I think, know what we're all doing, but it is still, gray area for federal. Yeah, and I think the 2018 bill is really meant to take that gray area out But now everybody, especially all the farms, I think you still operate under your state laws,
Right.
so when you hear legal in every state and that kind of stuff, that's true for some things, but not growing, you
Yeah,
know.
actually, I just saw somebody post something about on Reddit about Alabama, and apparently
Hmm.
they're like CBD is like not banned, but like you considered like a drug, and it's illegal over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
that
it's state by
sucks.
state. I know I looked into Hawaii because I need a winter somewhere, right? Have a little farm out there on the island, but and your guys' rules out there are much different.
Yeah, as far as I've looked up, I mean, I can't really. There's a lot of things over here that it's just all super gray area. Like, there's a place in my hometown actually that just opened up too, and they have like a CBD flower there, and I was surprised because I've been ordering one. Like the places that sell CBD here, they kind of just a lot of it just seemed kind of like a money grab. Like they totally like doubled the price of things that you would get online and just made it seem so like gimmicky almost. And
Yeah,
I feel like partially too like right now the way CBD is so popular and hyped up, like a lot of people are just like money grab, like cash grab, and it's sometimes it's really gimmicky and just kind of like, you know what I mean, like as opposed to people who actually are like people like you know, that are trying to make CBD for people who use CBD for things and actually
right,
like care
right.
about the thing itself, you know?
Yeah, and I think that comes out pretty quick when you see a picture online and then you see what you get in the bag, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's a little different, and I think in any industry, that cleansing is going to happen because, people are okay with it only because it's exciting and something new, and they don't know any different yet.
right,
And owning a business out here in Oregon and Northern California, Southern Oregon, it's the Emerald Triangle. This is where cannabis wants to grow, right? And we get people, a lot of brokers and a lot of dealers and shakers, right, coming in, and they want whatever it is, they want it just cheap, right? So that they can take it back to the East Coast or to the island or whatever, and flip it for a fair amount,
right, right,
quite a bit. And so it's really just how do we make the money and no care. And I think you see that in the products that are coming out that you've, I think, tried here and there and other people have. Um, and so, yeah, not to say there isn't still good stuff in that, flower, but it should be enjoyable at the very least.
right, right,
You shouldn't, it shouldn't hurt you more
right.
by going through the process of smoking it,
Yeah, I
and the
mean,
fertilizers and all that jazz.
yeah,
So,
that's why like when you said about trying to make it, how it should taste better and all that, like that's blew my mind. Like everybody kind of, I mean, there's some strains that kind of stand out with the taste, but for the most part, it all kind of is
mhm.
similar. With it just tastes like it doesn't even taste like weed, you know. I mean, it just
Tastes like hay,
yeah, it's
like you
like it
said.
tastes like hay. So I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that would be like a innovative thing to me is CBD that tastes like something like actual, something.
Well, yeah, and it should, and it does. You know what I mean? So I can't. Let me touch on the product quick. So you got large farms who are doing biomass, and they don't have the facilities to do 10 acres of tops, right? And so they do what they can, and they flush it as well as they can. But it's very hard to keep a standard of quality at that scale.
Right.
Not to say it won't be there, but right now it's just not there. So storing it correctly to make sure those terpenes stay in there, burping it, flushing it, all the things that make it be what we want it to be. Those things aren't happening on those larger scales. And right now, again, it's I think all of that should just be biomass and go to isolate. That's a good market. Keep all that over there. And then for people who are connoisseurs to a degree, or just if you're going to smoke, you want to enjoy it or have some taste, right? Then that's a whole different market. Just like the marijuana side, the edible side, just a lot of a lot of that plant should go to the edibles market. It's just maybe underdeveloped or whatever. You don't have the infrastructure to cure that much pot,
Right.
right? And so don't try. Don't try to do it. So that's kind of my thought. We'll see how it all shakes out, but yeah, it's interesting to be a part of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask you one. It was like, where do you see like the CBD scene in general in like 5 years from now?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's still
Oh wait, sorry, hold on. The thing froze on my side. Internet connection sucks. I'm on an
oh, no
island.
worries.
Okay, now it's good.
No worries, no worries. Well, 5 years from now, I mean, the isolates, the distillates, all those um, that health food store kind of an idea, the pills and tinctures and all that good stuff, I think is just going to gain traction. The flower market, we're going to see. We're going to see. You know, it depends on the next generation if they want to smoke it or not, or if we haven't, if the market isn't jaded by smoking a lot of stuff that just is really terrible to smoke, right? So if everybody's having bad experiences, you know, you're going to be like, hey, try this one. And they're going to be like, I already tried that stuff before.
Right, right,
That's hard to smoke. There's no way. You know, you get turned off by it. And so as a whole, you know, as a market, I think it's solid. And I think it's just got to be enjoyable on every level. Because I enjoy gummy bears. I dig it. But I also, at the same time, I think I have an understanding of how all of those cannabinoids work together.
right.
And fresh, you know, 4 acres, if you can imagine, 6,000 plants in a field and walking through that, that's just good. That's just fun, right? And the curing process and hanging out with your buddies, the whole culture around it is just a blast. So I hope people don't get jaded on the smoking side. Because for me and a lot of other farmers here, that's the fun part, you know. And I think there's going to be more and more people that have a ton more knowledge in growing and curing and making a really good product. They're going to be transferring over to hemp, you know. And so at least here, it's going to get better and better, you know. So we'll see.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I mean, I've from what I know, I think a lot of the places that I've seen CBD coming from was actually Oregon.
Hmm.
I don't like so. I mean,
Yeah,
because I know
yeah,
Oregon's is it legal for medical marijuana or is it just like marijuana's legal period there?
yeah, yeah. We have recreational.
Recreation, that was the word.
Yeah, yeah. No worries. Medical's been around for quite a while. Recreational has been, sorry, couple of years. Yeah, at least. I think it's about 2 years now. Um, and yeah, I never really got into the growing because we lived in San Diego, and you know, being around it my whole life, just never really got into it until we got back up here, and it was just, if I can do a whole field and it's going to be better than what I just tried, we got to get into it.
Right.
So, but you know, again, I think Oregon is known, and Northern California, you know, Humboldt. It's just it's a really good climate for the plant,
Right.
right? And there's strains that do better in Colorado, and they're doing thousands of acres at a time, and it all goes to isolate and all that stuff. But this has always been that mecca for that culture
Right.
and what people are doing. And I think it's just going to keep bleeding over to the hemp side, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. And just because it's available in all states to grow doesn't mean it's going to be quality just yet, right? I mean, Oregon, just to touch on Oregon's standards, you know, from the ODA, you know, you have to do, well, as of actually today, a new law came out, and you're going to have to do every 30 pounds, metals, pesticide. What else was there? Metals, pesticides, mold, you know, all the things that people and companies should have on them already when
Right.
you're like, hey, I'm going to buy some flour, right? Well, do you want to be smoking mold or old fertilizer, pesticides? Like, what's in that? If it's a medicine, you know, they need to be giving some literature on what their product is,
Right.
right?
Right.
So anyway, kind of lost my train of thought, but those are the standards of what we're doing. I already knew that they were going that route, and just to prove that we have a quality product, we test right now every 15 pounds. So we do those tests, and those are available. And you know, a lot of people they just don't know what they're smoking. You know, not just the smell, but what's in it.
Right.
So
Yeah, and plus too, I read a lot about like sometimes, or not read a lot about, but like it's easy to like fake or Photoshop a lab analysis and stuff like that.
I've seen my own report come back to me. Like I'll send out a report with some wholesale account, and you'll see it somewhere else with a different name on it, and you know, your numbers, and that person because so anyway, and also I want to touch base on strains too. So there's only a few out there, really. I've searched and searched and searched, and one of our goals is to kind of create our own genetics to a degree, in the next couple of years here. So we have some sort of like brand, flower,
Right, right,
right?
right.
You can only get that here, kind of a thing. And I think what's happening, I know it's happening because I've been asked to do it, is lab reports are just forged sometimes, put on a different name, So now you got the whatever Smurfberry, right? I don't know. But it is it's still the Electra or whatever, and that's totally okay to rebrand to a degree, but just it's something to be aware of, um, that you might only have one strain going on, but they're selling like 12 different types,
Right.
and I got to try it. Got to try all 12.
Yeah, I kind of had that thought, to be honest, because a lot of like some of the, or not a lot, but some of the places that I've got it from, you look at the two and it's like this is the same exact thing. Like it's,
Right,
but then
right.
I know in my videos I'm pretty sure people hate me already at this point, but it's the only place I've had like a totally different look of buds was the CBD Hemp Direct site. Like
Hmm.
they look like completely different. Like I'm talking about like the hairs, the color, and just like somewhere super dry. I don't know if maybe it's just the same batch and it's all just some is cured well and some's not.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah,
Uh,
but like you said, I had a feeling like that was kind of a thing, but
right.
I think it just gives people like a feeling of like freedom of choice, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
so I mean,
Totally fine. I mean, again, if you smoke it and you get the effect that you wanted, at the end of the day, it's all about you getting what you need, right? So if it's called this at one point and you go and you try it over here, it's just something that if you are getting a terpene report, if you are getting pesticides, if that quality is being set, I guess people can call it whatever they want. And just to let like you go from seed rather than clone, or even from clone, and those plants are going to always look different to a degree, right? Different expressions are going to come out in those plants. So if I'm growing an Electra, but I'm growing 2,000 of them, right? Each one of those can express differently.
right,
You know,
right,
some sort of um, dominant trait or a recessive trait,
right.
and they can all smell a little different. They can all, you know what I mean. So even though it is Electra, you can go ahead and brand it, I guess, differently. But in my mind, I'd like to see that, so have consistency, right? Like in this plant, I got this feeling, and this is the Electra that I got from this farm, right? And what their inputs are and how they do that. And get that consistency in this game, because right now it's just all over the board, and
Yeah.
we just don't want people to get turned off,
Right, right.
you know.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's pretty much that was a good conversation about everything. Is there anything else that you'd want to tell anyone watching this video right now? Like just, whatever you want to say?
Uh, I've never done this before. I don't know, man. I forgot even what I was talking about. Uh, let's see. No, no. I mean, as far as a company, our company, we are doing some greenhouse uh, plants right now. So those that should be out and available, I'd say in the next 2 to 3 months. It's a little new for us. We're trying to figure out what strains we want to do in there for yield and for many other things. But yeah, that's going to be available here soon. But other than that, no, man. I mean, I think we kind of covered it. I think
Yeah.
the industry as a whole is just going to be constantly changing, constantly changing. Just don't get duped, because when I see these channels and just having a little bit of knowledge, in channels like yours that go over some of what to expect, the shady cats out there, and just the flippers, the brokers. It's a very interesting industry. And if you're just a consumer on that side, you don't know the background, what's going on in the back end.
Right, right.
And just buyer beware. Ask those questions. Where's your pesticide report? If you care about terpenes, you don't have to. But if you care, if you think that that's bringing you something in there, ask for terpenes. But definitely pesticide, mold. And I think across the board there needs to be those standards.
Right, right.
And the more and more people ask for it, then they will start doing it as well. So
that sounds good, man.
Kind of what I got, man.
And then on Instagram, Monroe Hemp is your page, right?
It is.
All right.
It is.
Yeah, just that big thing about Instagram. I do a lot of stuff on there. So everybody go follow Monroe Hemp on Instagram. And I mean, do you guys have anything else you'd like them to, like a YouTube, Facebook, or your website? You can just give that to.
Honestly, so and I should have mentioned this before, but I'm doing all this on my own.
Oh, really?
Right? I am. Yeah. So I web design, I take all the pictures, grow it, trim it, everything from top to bottom. So if there's ever an issue, that I'm the guy who I'm the one that did, if you got any questions, let me know. But with that being said, as far as Facebook and all that jazz, we don't have a Facebook page that's really current. I'm trying to figure out how to link the Instagram to the Facebook, and you know what I mean? And
right,
it's,
right.
I don't know, I'm 40 and I don't get it all. I was excited when I got a YouTube channel the other day, and I posted I did this little quick video of a bud going around in a circle from the Electra, and I was like, oh, that's so I did my first video. Wow. But so anyway, that's just a side note there. If anybody has any questions, this is who you're talking to.
That's actually pretty cool, bro. I like that. That must be a lot of work.